look around, we need hope. Dark world, we need hope. Broke world, we need hope. We all need hope, need hope, need hope. Look around, we need hope. Broke world, we need hope. We all need hope. But tell them it's hope for the broken. 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 Tell them it's hope for the broken. Yeah. It's hope for the broken. Yeah. It's hope for the broken. Yeah. It's hope for the broken. Boy, look around, we need hope. No question about it.
Hello. We're back at you again with another episode of Healing Broken Souls. I had to look back to make sure we were talking about. I was listening to the intro music and I just went tone deaf in one ear. I think our music man is trying to kill me over here, you know. He forget that I'm an old man at times, you know, and my time for listening to loud music is over. So my name is Benny Powell, pastor of Greater Second Baptist Church, and I'm here with my good friend,
John Boyanowski. I'm the pastor at Solid Rock Church of Warren.
All right. I know it's been a while since we last spoke to you. So, you know, we've been talking about what could we discuss, especially in times that we are coming in. We just had Thanksgiving and we're moving into Christmas and the New Year. And I was asking John, I said, John, what should we talk about? And as usual, John gives me an answer like this.
Like what? We talk about anything you want to talk about because there's so much to talk about.
You know, and as we look, I really wanted to be mindful of what we have experienced in the last year.
Yeah, there's so much stuff that has taken place in the world around us, in our personal lives, as well as in the lives of the church and everything else. And we see so many people who are struggling and suffering. You
know, when you look at the issues in the country right now and abroad, you know, there's wars and rumors of war. There's famine, there's pestilence, you know, we got countries fighting countries. But here at home, here in America, we have a lot of issues in and of itself. You know, we still have our homeless. We still have mothers feeding children by themselves, fathers not in the home or incarcerated. And so one of the things I wanted to do in light of all of the bad things that happened, I just wanted us to talk about brokenness in times like these, you know. And it doesn't have to be a bad time because, you know, I've got a few stories, and I know John has a few stories that he would like to relate to you in regards. I'm going to give a story, and then I'm going to pass it off to John and let him tell a story. And I think the one I want to start with is one that didn't affect me directly, but, you know, it was a pleasure to be around these people. We're not going to mention any names for copyright issues because I don't want to get sued. But, you know, the story is real and that it is powerful. If you look on our Facebook page, we have a deaconess by the name of Deaconess Debbie Jones. She told a story of how she had gone blind in one eye, and for about 6 months she couldn't see, and then, you know, through prayer and everything else, you know, God gave her back her sight in that eye. Well, we've had a few more stories of great miracles happening in the church, and people say, okay, so why should I trust God in times like these? This is no better time to trust God than now. You know, there was a person that was going through a health scare, and you know, a very terminal health scare, and the one thing about it, she continued to live her life. She continued to come and go as she pleased. She continued to serve her church, and she was a faithful member and still is a faithful member. But a few weeks ago, her husband fell ill, and he needed a major surgery. And with that, you know, she had to go to his side, which is what she should have done, you know. But she herself was sick. And so she went down to be with her husband while he had his surgery. And he came through very well, thank God. You know, he went through his surgery and he's healthy now, getting healthy, rather. And then at the time she was having he was having his surgery, she got a call for her surgery. And so she had to leave his side and go to the place where she had to have her surgery. And there was another miracle. So, being able to see two miracles in one family at the same time is a miracle in itself. And I can see the hurt on their faces, and from time to time about the weight of how things were getting to them, but they persevered and they trust God, and everything is working out for the good.
When we look at miracles, we often think of the big grandioso miracles, the things that like parting the Red Sea and things like that, burning bush moments. But there's a lot of miracles that are taking place that are so overlooked because in some cases we don't even bother looking for them. And those small miracles of having a child come up to you when you are at your point of your wit's end and just come up and say, I'm praying for you, mommy or daddy, or, coming up and trying to make you smile, and they give you a teddy bear or a big old hug and say, just because I love you. That in itself is a miracle, that child has that sense of knowing that you're hurting and that you have taught them well enough to be able to try to do something about it.
Yeah, and that's another beautiful thing, helping even in your broken state can come from anywhere, It can come from a child, it can come from a friend, it can come from a loved one, it can come from a total stranger. Just today, I was here, and I had left, and my wife called and said, "Hey, there's a man over here that want to talk to you." So I came back to the church, and the man said, "Hey, you know what? I just need a couple of dollars. I just want to go down here and get me a sandwich." And I said, "Well, I don't have any cash on me." He said, "No, I'm not talking about today." He said, "I'll come back. Just tell me when to come back, and I'll come and do the work." He said, "Nobody will help me because of the way I look." And I know that sounds like a song, but this is a true story. He said, "Nobody will help me because of the way I am." And then he said, "Here's my identification." And he showed me a picture of his before. And then I'm looking at him and I said, "Okay, well, let's come back. Can you come back tomorrow?" He said, "Yeah, I can come back tomorrow." But then, the Spirit of the Lord hit me. He said, "Go in there, get him we keep grocery cards here at the church. Don't everybody come for no grocery card now."
Yeah, nice podcast.
Nice podcast. Yeah. And so I went in and got him a grocery card, and I gave it to him, and he said, "Thank you." He said, "But I still want to come back, and I want to work to on my own right." He said, I'm an able-bodied man. He said, "But because of the way I am, people think I'm crazy or whatever the case may be, but nobody will give me an opportunity." I said, "Well, just come back tomorrow." And at that time, my wife came in, and she had went into the kitchen of the church, and she fixed him a sandwich and got him some cookies and a drink, and he ate it. And then we talked to him for a little bit more, and then he walked off. And my mind was, "Okay, God, why? Why is this man in such a broken state?" I know here we're talking about sending hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars to other countries, and we should be
sometimes billions
and sometimes billions. I know we should be a support, but when we have people here, and this is just my personal perception of this, John, when we have people here that it is in need of just as much. We have homeless people. We have children not eating 2 square meals a day.
Right. And, we want to help everybody. But what we have to first do, and this is where we take that airline steward or stewardess, when they say, like, the plane's going down and the oxygen mask drops, and you try to help somebody else with that, they say, put it on you first, because if you don't, you're the one that's going to be gone. And so, we have to ask ourselves these questions. Are we overextending ourselves to, instead of healing ourselves and then being able to help others? Not saying that we're not, like you said before, giving into helping them out to the best of our abilities, But how can we help somebody when we are so broken that we're not even taking care of ourselves?
And you have to look at it fairly too. There are not enough resources.
Yes, there's no matter how much you have. I was watching a segment. They were talking about the tunnels to towers. They had a gala yesterday. They raised about $3-4 million for it. And this program, they taken those people who have died in the line of duty, whether it be in the military or first responders, things like that. They either take and pay for their mortgages, or they build them a home if they are like disabled because of their bravery and everything. And they said that, hey, this is great. We've raised $5 million, but next year we got to do better. Because unfortunately, no matter how much we do, there's more that comes. There's more things that happen in today's world.
Yeah. And you get more and more families each and every year looking for not a handout, assistance. I had a man tell me one time, he said, no, I don't want a handout. I want a job.
They want a hand. They don't want to hand out, but they want to hand up.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And, we have to do our best to help them with that and give them their dignity and give them that ability. If they want to say, hey, I want to help out here or here, don't say, oh, no. It helps them to feel good that they're contributing.
Yeah. And, and a lot of people are going to say, okay, well, you're the church. You're supposed to be able to help everybody. That's what you're there for. Even the church has limited resources now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you got to take into consideration, first of all, there's more and more Americans that are leaving religious organizations and established churches and doing their own thing. So you got that. Then you also have, with the economic things that we're going through, you have the lack of funds coming in through tithes and offerings. Plus, let's look at tithes and offerings to begin with. Some people don't even know what those are. Yeah,
and so when you have limited resources, and you got so many people saying, "Hey, I'm in a broken state. Can you help me?" We want to say yes. We try to say yes, but even especially in times like these when Thanksgiving is past and Christmas is coming, our food bank gave out turkeys and all those other things that we try to give out every month. We're one of the few food banks that give out meat instead of canned goods. It's not always what they want, but it's something, and there is no other resource that's helping afford these items. We pay for that 100%, and we want to be able to help as much as possible. But it still hurts our eyes. It still hurts our soul when we can't help everybody. So, in times like these, we see the brokenness. We see the emptiness of people saying, okay, what about me? What about me? Okay, so how do we uplift them? Sometimes people don't tell you, they don't want you to tell them what to do. They just want you to listen.
Exactly, and that's the most important thing, to be heard. They don't want you to fix them. Right. They don't want you to give them the answers of what they need to do. What they want is to have the ability to say, somebody heard, not just listened, but heard me, knows, and maybe they can't identify with them 100%, but just the fact that somebody took the time to hear me out, and for me to be able to share what I feel like I felt comfortable with, and not use it against me, and if nothing else, say pray for me.
And everybody has their own personal, I don't want to say stigma, vices or whatever the case may be. They have their own personal views on how things should be. So, when you're trying to help someone, always telling a person what to do, and especially when they're hurting and need, sometimes they just need someone to listen to. Have an open ear, a listening ear. And so that's why one thing about helping a broken person, if you can help them financially or with some type of transportation issue, that's a good thing. Okay. Or if you can help someone do a little bit better than what they're doing. But most of the time, people just want people to listen.
If you look at the book of Acts chapter 3, where John and Peter were going to the gate beautiful, and they're going into the temple, and there was a beggar out there, and they were asking for money. And Peter says, silver and gold we don't have, but what I do have I will give to you. And they said, in the name of Jesus, get up and walk. And he was healed. And so sometimes, we may not have exactly what they're asking for, but we may have what they need.
Yeah, like the man today, and I know we're gonna have to cut it short here in a few seconds. But the man today, he really didn't want a handout. He wanted a hand up, but more especially, he just really wanted someone to listen to.
Absolutely,
to listen to him. So when you're looking at people's brokenness through this holiday period, don't be so quick to push them off or discount what they're saying, especially someone that's saying or crying out, and you know what? I want you to hear me. I remember my daughter telling me, Daddy, when I was young, you just didn't listen. You just didn't listen. And so, ever since she told me that, I try to be a better listener than I ever have been.
That's why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth.
2 ears and 1 mouth. All right, this is Pastor Benny Powell, Greater Second Baptist Church.
And Pastor John Boyanowski of Solid Rock Church of Warren. Don't forget to listen to us and like us. We're on all the platforms, and we hope that you get blessed by this.
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas.
Look around, we need hope. Dark world, we need hope. Broke world, we need hope. We all need hope, need hope, need hope. Look around, we need hope. Broke world, we need hope. We all need hope. But tell them it's hope for the broken. 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 Tell them it's hope for the broken. Yeah. It's hope for the broken. Yeah. It's hope for the broken. Yeah. It's hope for the broken. Boy, look around, we need hope. No question about it. Can't get around, the whole world around us need hope. No escaping battle. Let's go.